Releasing the hands, unraveling the arms, and then windmilling yourself back up to a T. Pivot the left knee, so everything is pointing towards the front of the mat. Placing the hands on either side of the foot, tuck the left toes, and step back to find plank. So keeping the hands pressed into the earth, spreading the shoulder blades and the scapula away from each other. You can have a slight lift of the pelvis as you draw the navel towards the lower ribs, full engagement of the abdominals. Lifting the kneecaps up towards the pelvis for an engagement of the legs. And then drawing your ankles over your toes. So we have a tendency to let our ankles kind of flop backwards. But for a full engagement of the body, let's draw the heels in line with the toes. Breathing nice and deep here. And then lowering the knees, keeping them hovered, shifting the weight back, lifting the hips high. Ardha Mukha Svanasana. Inhale, coming onto the balls of your toes, rippling the spine forward, spreading the shoulders apart. Exhale, drawing the knees down towards the earth, shifting the weight back. Inhale, hips nice and high. Exhale, downward facing dog. A few more rounds like this. Inhale, as you roll the spine forward, knees down towards the earth, millimeters off the mat. Shifting the hips back and up. Exhale, Ardha Mukha Svanasana. On your next round of inhalation, finding a plank position, and then as we lower the knees down towards the mat, letting them come in contact with the earth at the exact same time. Uncurling the toes and in one straight line, bending the elbows, keeping the elbows hugging towards the rib cage as we lower the chest down towards the mat. Inhale, rolling the spine up for Bhujangasana Cobra. Exhale, rolling the forehead down towards the mat. And then inhale as you press up through plank, shift the weight back. Exhale, downward facing dog. So then looking in between the hands and slowly walking the feet towards the top of your mat. Bending the knees here. Inhale, sweeping the hands up towards the ceiling, gazing and watching the thumbs meet. Exhale, hands to heart center. So closing down the eyes here and just feeling your thumbs press against your sternum, finding the pulse and the beat of your heart against your hands, finding the presence in your body, and just taking a moment here to connect, perhaps sending out an intention for the day, for the week, for the world. Just taking a moment. How are you feeling now? What would you like to share? What energy would you like to expand? Coming to a Tadasana at the top of your mat. Inhale as you sweep the hands up above your head, watching the fingertips meet. Exhale, swan dive forward and down, Uttanasana, hands ground through the earth or placing them on the shins. Inhale to Ardha Uttanasana, halfway lift. Exhale, stepping the right foot back, stepping the left foot back, and then shifting the weight back to found downward facing dog. Placing the big toes together, taking a nice deep inhalation into the belly as you sweep the right leg towards the sky. Exhale, bending the knee, stacking the hips one on top of the other, and gazing over your left shoulder. Finding an opening of the hip here, lengthening of the left hamstring. And breathing into the belly, reaching forward. And as you exhale, drawing the knee in towards the nose, shifting and gliding the weight forward, stepping the right foot in between your hands. Windmill 2, pivot the back foot and lift the arms to find a Virabhadrasana 2, Warrior 2. So checking in with your alignment here, hips are pointing towards the side of the mat. Your front knee is tracking in line with the middle toe, and your knee is at 90 degrees. From here, flipping the palm, inhale, reach forward, then reaching behind you, reversing the warrior. Again, lateral extension of the right side body. Sinking a little bit lower, reaching the tailbone down towards the earth. And then from here, placing the elbow on the thigh, circling the fingertips down towards the mat, reaching the fingertips up, extended side angle modified. Gazing up at your fingertips. And then from here, circle the palms, interlace the fingers behind your back, roll the shoulders away from the ears as you glide the chest up. Exhale, drawing the head down towards the earth, finding a humble warrior. So letting the knuckles reach towards the sky, the head hangs heavy as gravity takes control. Finding a deep opening in the pelvis, in the hips. Breathing nice and deep here. Engagement of the legs, that's your strong stability, grounding base. On your next inhalation, circling the knuckles down towards the earth, releasing the hands back to Warrior 2. Windmill in the arms, stepping back to find plank. Now you can continue with knees down, lie down cobra as we've done previously in the practice. Or if you'd like to shift the weight forward for Chaturanga Dandasana, elbows bent to 90. Shift the weight back, inhale, curve the line. Adho Mukha Svanasana. Upward facing dog. As you exhale, roll the toes, lift the sitting bones. Now finding Adho Mukha Svanasana. From here, big toes together. Inhale, sweeping the left leg up towards the sky. Exhale, stacking the hips one on top of the other, drawing the toes down towards the earth. And then perhaps gazing over your right shoulder. It's going to help keep the alignment of the shoulders. So if you find your right shoulder dipping, just beginning to scoop it up so it's in line with the left. From here, drawing the knee into the chest, shifting the shoulders over the wrists, and then stepping the left foot in between the hands. Pivot the back foot, inhale, windmill the arms up, Warrior 2. So again, now rotating the back thigh up towards the ceiling, helping to find a little bit more space in the hips. Fingertips expand away from each other as you find more length across the chest. Maybe perhaps drawing the tailbone down to the earth, front knee at 90 degrees. From here, flip the palm and sweep the fingertips behind you. Again, hand can be placed on the thigh or slide down the shin. Bending that front knee a little bit more, finding a little bit more depth and space in your posture. And then just breathing. Full expansion in the lungs. From here, windmill the arms, placing the forearm just above the knee. Circle the back fingertips down towards the mat and then up and over. Parivrita Parshvakonasana, extended side angle. Full extension from fingertips to toes. Spinning the chest towards the side of the room, reaching up and over. Expanding the energy out of your body. Expanding the energy into the world around you. Inhale, sweeping back to a Warrior 2. Interlace the fingers behind the back. Roll the shoulders away from the ears. Inhale, look up. Open the chest. Exhale. Drawing the forehead towards the earth. Finding a humble warrior on the other side here. And breathing nice and deep. Just letting go of the breath here. Perhaps closing down the eyes. Just Seeing if you can reach the crown of your head down towards the ankle just a little bit further with every fresh cycle of breath. Perhaps the hands are hanging more heavy over the head, reaching down towards the earth. On your next inhalation, rolling the chest back to center, unraveling the hands, Virabhadrasana 2, strong, stable warrior, before windmilling the hands to frame the foot, stepping back to find plank, either knees down, lie down, cobra, or shift the weight forward, Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, sweep the line forward, coming into upward facing dog. Exhale, roll the toes, lift the sitting bones, Adho Mukha Svanasana. Placing the feet hip distance apart as you inhale, ripple the spine forward to find plank. Shifting the weight back, rolling onto the knife edge of your left foot as you inhale to find side plank, reaching the right hand up. Now we have a few options here. So if you find that you're collapsing into your shoulder and you don't have quite the strength yet, always option to place the top leg just in front of you, extending the hips nice and high. Or placing yourself in side plank, really reaching that hip bone up towards the ceiling. You can also place your top leg into a tree pose to find Vrikshasana in the legs. Wherever you're at, everybody's stepping the right foot behind them, lowering the hips down towards the earth. Inhale, pressing up and away into a wild thing. Reaching the fingertips up and over. From here, big circle of the hand. So the hand comes down towards the mat. As you rotate the back foot, coming into a fallen triangle. So threading your right leg underneath your hips. Placing the foot on the floor, inhale. Rolling the left hand towards the ceiling. Now you can stay here or you can lift the toes up off the mat for a fuller engagement of the inner thighs. Last moments here before releasing the toes down towards the earth and letting the hips slowly come in contact with the mat. So we're finding a wide-legged forward fold here. This can be really nice, spreading the feet nice and wide. You can stay where you are. Inhale, finding length, perhaps lifting the flesh away from your sitting bones. Placing your hands on either side of the hips as you tilt the pelvis forward. And then as you exhale, begin to let the chest fall closer to the earth. So if you find that this is quite a deep hip opening and you're feeling a lot of sensation in your hips, then stay here, absolutely no problem. If you'd like to find a little more depth and surrender into the pose with the openness of the hamstrings, then begin to walk your hands forward, finding whatever stage you come to today. Keeping the toes flexed towards the ceiling and using your breath to begin to surrender down. So you're not letting your legs just flop open to the side, but keeping them engaged. That's going to protect the hip joint and also begin to let you open it up a little bit deeper. And with every breath, you begin to ground yourself a little bit more. Now, as we've been doing throughout the whole class, we really want to work on lengthening the spine. So rather than curling into a little ball drawing, trying to get our head and our forehead to the mat, let's work on stacking the vertebra and hinging from the hips. So just finding at whatever angle you come to today. It could be here, it could be here, or you might be all the way down on the floor. But really working on lengthening through the spine and hinging from the hips rather than curling into a ball. Closing down the eyes. Beginning to surrender. And observing any sensations in your body. And without reacting to them, without judging them, just using the breath to peel away those layers. Using the breath to dive a little bit deeper. And as you dive deeper into the sensations, you dive deeper into the understanding of the physical feeling in the body. Again, no judgment, only observation.